Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and their elders, the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. This is a video from Full Spectrum Survival. I actually listened to some of his videos. I believe he have quite informative videos, but you have to take the meat and spit out the bones, because the men here at the great millstone, the men of the Lord, the prophets, one thing we do is filter things through the scriptures, man. Okay, like the apostles always going to qualifying everything through the scriptures, so you have to qualify everything that you're saying. So a lot of times these guys they bring out information because they see things, they research things, and a lot of these guys are patriots. A lot of these guys are actually agents, FBI, CIA, and some of them are just plain patriotic Americans, man, that's looking to take their country back from this tyrannical government, which the destiny of America is to be destroyed at the end of the day. And there's no reviving Babylon, there's no bringing it back, and this is what these Edomites really do not understand. Okay, so we're here to set the record straight. This is Fair Use Act, okay? Disclaimer: under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. It says fair use is permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing, but non-profit for educational or personal tips in the balance of favor of fair use. So I'm not making any money from this. I'm not profiting off this. This is just, going into biblical prophecy and filtering the things that he's saying through the scriptures, because he's basically going into how America's getting ready to clash with Russia based on the Israeli or the Israel slash Hamas slash the Iranian war that we're seeing happening in the Middle East right now. So we believe through the spirit that this war will eventually spill over into a nuclear war once everything falls into place as far as prophetic with the prophecy is concerned regarding the MOTB. So without further delay, I'm gonna play it maybe 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes of the video, just to kind of get the point across, and then we're gonna get into a couple of precepts and do what we do. All right, and that'll be that. So here we go.
Iran has sent an official letter to the United States of America saying that if the USA stands by their resolve to back the country of Israel, then Iran will see the United States of America as an enemy target and it will act accordingly. Now, this is as we have information coming out of intelligence agencies saying that if Iran doesn't already have a nuclear weapon, then they are literally days away from making one. Now, I see that as a lot of...
And that's a lie. Iran, they have, I remember back, I want to say 2015, they had like a nuclear peace deal talk when they was basically trying to get them to shut down their uranium facilities and, prevent them from making nuclear weapons. But they had like a nuclear weapons deal, that they was going to dump the cash. But even then, even if Iran decided to say, yeah, we're going to abide by the nuclear deal, then we only going to have a certain number of warheads on hand. Remember, Russia is not really part of that. Russia will back Iran. So either way it goes, Iran say, we're going to throw in our nukes, we're going to throw in a towel. But then again, you got Russia, you got China, you got North Korea, you got Syria, you got all these, you got all these countries in the what they perceive the Middle East, which China is not part of the Middle East, by the way. But you get the point. They're basically saying, look, if this is the case, then we're going to go to war. So either way it go, Esau's fucked. Okay, America is fucked, and that's what guys like him don't understand, But this is all prophecy because, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord said that this will be the case in the last days, man. So, anyway, here we go.
Mainstream media fear-mongering. They're probably trying to get the public involved in this so that they say, it's just time for Israel to take them out or the United States of America to take them out. The U.S. Secretary of State Blinken, in a call with the Israeli defense minister, has made it clear that the U.S. Military will stand by with Israel against any threats by Iran.
And they have to, because they have an oath, okay? They have an oath to protect and a patent to protect Israel, because one thing you have to understand is that Israel is considered a welfare state to America, man, okay? You notice America bails them out. America oftentimes... they're a welfare state. They send them billions of dollars throughout the year. Taxpayers' money, all this shit. They spend money on Israel to keep them afloat. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you got homeless people here in Babylon. You got people that's in debt. People are getting evicted left and right. But yet at the same time they're willing to give money to these small hats and to continue to keep them afloat. But that's gonna fix it to end soon, because like I said, man, this place is getting ready to collapse as a whole. And like I said, the small hats own Babylon lock, stock, and barrel. So.
Or its proxies that's coming out of the State Department. Right now, the commander of U.S. Central Command, General Michael Kurilla, he is in Israel, or said to be, along with the defense minister, meeting with other military and defense officials in what is being called a last-ditch effort to assist in the coordination of a defense of the nation. Israel will be against an unprecedented direct attack. They say that these attacks will come on Israeli territory, continue to come on the Israeli territory. If they say that this scenario exists, they also say that Israel will be forced to respond with a direct attack against Iran. Now, Biden has said that the U.S., Japan, and Australia are right now launching a defense network. The United States and these other countries, according to the U.S. president during a state visit, has said that for the first time, these nations together will work to create a network of air missile and defense architecture.
Okay, so there you go, man. That's what they consider NATO in the EU. Okay, I believe Australia, if I'm not mistaken, I think Australia may be part. I can actually look it up real quick. I don't know if they're part of the EU and NATO, but in my opinion, same difference. All right, it's part of NATO. No, it's not a NATO. Okay, it's not a NATO member. Okay, it says though Australia is not a NATO member, it ties to the organization have grown as a result of ADF deployments to Afghanistan under NATO-led International Security Assistance Force. So they're still under the umbrella, so to speak. Okay, so regardless of it, they're gonna still back Esau. Okay, they're still gonna back, because at the end of the day, they're still all Edomites. So they're not part of NATO, but regardless of it, they still are umbrella under NATO, so to speak. All right. So with that being said, man, eventually these nations are getting ready to clash in an all-out war. All right.
We also see Turkey attempting a last-minute mediation. Iran is declining any sort of mediation. Kim Jong-un has said that, and this is the North Korean leader. Now, you know how if you're a low-level guy at a meeting, you sometimes get information that the company, because you're listening to company executives, they wouldn't otherwise tell you about? That's what I see happening right now with the North Korean leader. He's out here saying now is the time to be more prepared for war than ever before in the history of the world. So he's probably hearing what's going on between Russia, Vladimir Putin, between China and the president of that country. He's probably hearing their plans, hearing a little bit of their fallout plans, what's going to happen if the missiles fly, if nuclear or biological war happens. And he's out here telling his press that, look, you need to be prepared right now more than you ever have been before. So maybe he has access or privy to some information that others don't have.
Okay, so basically war drums are being, okay? Everybody is at war, as it tells you in Joel, the 3rd chapter. It tells us that the Lord has determined to lead all these nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means the Lord's judgment. Okay, so all these nations are getting ready to collide in this major battle, okay, for control over the world's resources and provinces. But see, what's gonna happen is that who you ignorantly call Christ, which his name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew, he's gonna come and he's gonna put an end to that. And he's gonna topple all you nations at once. Okay, and this is what these heathens are not anticipating. Okay, this direct world war between Russia and China, America, or the NATO and the EU and the Eastern Bloc, the former USSR. Basically, what's going to happen is that they get ready to, they're going to usher in the second coming of Yahweh Shai, because things are going to get that pretentious. Okay, so this is the book of Ezekiel 38. And let's start at verses, we went over this several times, but let's start at verses 2. It says, "And son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophecy against him." So when you look at these ancient Japhetic nations on the map, and you look at Magog or Gog today, and you look at, I believe it's the matter of fact, let me look this up real quick. Me shaking two ball. It's that's HECH. Oops. And two ball on a map. Okay, now when you look at okay, you got Gog, you got Magog, which is Gog. I mean Gog and Magog. I mean it's pretty much like Gog and Magog. It's just Gog, okay, or Magog, and then you got Tubal. Now when you look at the today, even scholars agree that these particular provinces of Russia today. Okay, see, look, it says reinterpretation did not generally continue at the classical times, but needs of the modern world have produced a new body of apocalyptic literature in which Gog and Magog are identified as communist Russia and China. Okay, so there you go. Let's see if we can find it on the map. All right. Good. All right, so you got Russia here. You got Georgia, and see you have like the ancient names like Togarmah, Ashkenaz, all right. But then again, you have Turkey here, or Bulgaria, but you got Russia, you got the Caspian Sea, okay. But these were ultimately the lands of Japhet, okay, which were actually people of color, which the Japhetic peoples were the actual European peoples, okay. They wasn't Edomites, as contrary to popular opinion, all right. So basically, the land of Gog today will be what you would consider Russia. But it says here, and said against the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Okay, so this is a military intervention between the nations, NATO, EU, Eastern Bloc, China, Russia, North Korea, South Korea, and the NATO alliance nations. But what you got to understand is that these nations are going to turn on America, NATO and the EU. According to Revelation, the 17th chapter, it says that the beast shall hate the whore. The beast goes into NATO, okay? And then the whore represents Babylon the Great, which is America, all right? And it says here, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, okay? And will bring thee forth. This is talking about Russia. And all thy army and horses or horsemen with them, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Now, when you look at the three greatest economies on the planet Earth, you got America, you got China, you got Russia. Okay, with China pretty much having a bigger economy than America, contrary to popular opinion. Okay, because nothing here in America is created. Everything is outsourced. Everything is consumed here, but nothing is really produced. Okay, they took the manufacturing plants out here a long time ago, man, when they outsourced everything. I remember back in 2006 and 7, you know, when I was actually starting to like get into the working culture, right after I graduated high school, man, I'm noticing, you know, you call certain providers and stuff like that. You hear a lot of foreigners, a lot of people from Saudi, not Saudi, but East India, you know, like the red dot people, you know, the ones that pick up the phone, they be like, you know, I could do that. You do the accent, you know, but I don't want to do the accent right now. But still, you know, you pick up the phone. But welcome to T-Mobile. Can I help you? Your bill, you owe $125.55. You know, them guys like that. They do that shit, you know. So I've noticed a lot of them dudes, man, they outsourced a lot of business to these companies. But like prior to like the early industrial revolutions, like we're in the fourth industrial revolution, but when you're going back into steam engines and conveyors and things like that, when you go back into like the early 1900s, late 1800s, man, during the time of steamliners, and you had what they call White Star Line, which was basically a parent star company of the Titanic, or like those steamships. You know, that was an industrial revolution, and like steel and iron was imported here, man. You know, it was created. You know, they had Acme steel companies, man, that go way back to the 1800s, and America made a lot of money off steel. Now when you look at this steel, it's worth shit, you know. But anyway, it says horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them handling shield and helmet. Gomer and his bands in the house of Togarmah. Okay, you got Turkey in there. Okay, in the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. So be prepared and be prepared for thyself, and thou and all thy company that are similar to thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay, so that's the point. So Yahweh Shem Shai is really stirring this thing up. And like we always said, once the MOTB is fully instituted through a global economic collapse, then that's when the nations are going to go to war, because they're going to like, you know what? The world is going to collapse based on its dollar. And this is why you have BRICS. This is why you have other companies, man. I mean, other countries, Salaki, I'm distracted at talking, but you have other countries that's, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Salakia. I got distracted, man. But anyway, it says Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah in the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. So be thou prepared for thyself. Prepare and be thou prepared for thyself, and understand all the company that are assembled to thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay, so this thing is getting ready to brew up. Okay, it's no stopping it at this point. Okay, this is why these countries are trying to get away from the dollar, because they understand that the dollar is going to get ready to collapse. And once the dollar collapses, they're just going to topple the world's economies. And that is enough reason alone to go to war, because you have a failed economy, a global collapse. Because it ain't the fact that America just going to collapse financially. The whole entire, the economies of the world will collapse once the dollar go down. And that's a call for war. Okay. So anyway, go here to the book of Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, and let's start at verses 8. Matter of fact, let's start at 8. It says, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the goats before the flocks. It says, for I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. We just read this in Ezekiel 38 in the north country, and that they should set themselves in array against her. From thence she should be taken, and their arrow should be as the mighty, and their arrow should be as of a mighty expert man. None should return in vain. And those arrows are talking about the nuclear missiles. Okay, and it says a mighty expert man, because when you think of a mighty man, you think of somebody that's skilled in war. Okay, you think of somebody that's you got what's my man Joab, man. Okay, a mighty man. You know, King David. You know, mighty men of valor. Okay, Samson, David's mighty men, his army. I believe he had like 33 mighty men, if I'm not mistaken. But those are men of war, and it says an expert man, a mighty expert man, and none should return in vain. So if you are an expert in war and you're skilled in artillery, this goes into basically the nuclear silos, man, that these nations are gonna pretty much program to shoot over here, because a lot of those things are controlled by drones now, you know, computers. But yet they have to put in the proper coordinates and know how to align the satellites and for them to fall on their particular target. So the systems are updated to the point they can say, well, look, we're going to have 25 missiles that hit Chicago, 15 Kansas City, 30 New York, and they're going to have a barge of missiles that's going to be raining down on America. Okay, missiles are going to rain on this place like raindrops, man. Okay, and it's going to boom, 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 man. This place is going to get taken out horribly. Okay, the scripture said that the earth shall rock to and fro like a drunkard. Okay, so that lets you know the type of destruction that our Lord and Savior is bringing, man. And we can't wait, because you know what? Hey, it's about that time. All right, and it says in Chaldea should be a spoil, which is basically another way of saying Babylon. Okay, because the ancient Chaldeans are nothing but your forecasters and your magi's and your sorcerers of ancient Babylon. So when you think of Chaldeans, you think of people like the bankers, you know, the elite bankers. And you got Killgates, you got this guy Cotton Swab. These are lower level Chaldeans. And it says it should be a spoil, and all that spoil her should be satisfied, says the Lord. Because you were glad, because you rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Okay, and your mother should be sore confounded, which is Great Britain, because we know that America allegedly got their independence from Britain. Okay, even though they wasn't really on one accord, how things broke down. But regardless of it, you know, America comes out of Great Britain. And you can read about that in Revelation, the 17th chapter as well, when it says it's the 7 is even of the 8th is of the 7, but it goes into perdition. Okay, because that 7th head being Great Britain, which America comes out of that head. But it says, but because of the wrath of the Lord, it should not be inhabited, but it shall wholly be desolate. Everyone that goeth to Babylon should be established, and that hiss at all our plagues. So put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, and shoot at her, and spare no arrows. For she have sinned against Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, so this is all due because they've taken us. Okay, they've made spoil out of us. They've made profit out of us, and they still got us today. So basically what you're seeing now is another Exodus times 2. Okay, it's the same thing that happened in ancient Egypt, just times 2 with more nations, okay, and more hell they put on us. And this time the Lord is going to destroy this goddamn place for good. And we ain't going back in captivity again. And that's just something to rejoice at in itself, brother. So literally we in the home stretch. So right now, man, brothers, is you just keep a cool head, you know, endure the bullshit and continue to believe, man. And hey, the Lord gonna come get us, man. I got faith in that. All right, but it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. For she sinned against Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, but shout against her round about. It says, and she have given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. So take vengeance upon her as she have done, doing to her, okay? And that's the point. Doing to her, man, because the hell she's put on other nations, the hell she's put on us, the Lord is getting ready to require that of you, okay? So anyway, I got a lot of precepts we can really go into, but I think I made the point. But just to add insult to injury, let's do this. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at verses 28. It says, matter of fact, let's start at 27. It says, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye should remain in them. Okay, they got a new, I was looking at this thing here, actually, where are we at here? Yep, it was, what it says here is it says, virus, 100 times worse than a sea icky, puts world dangerously close to pandemic. And we already know that once this new scandemic breaks off, we know that the WHO and the WEF will assume the roles of authoritarians over Americans. So that's going to go left, okay? Because once this happens, you better believe that blue hats will be deployed to your streets to put things in you that don't belong there, okay? And this is why Biden has given over, they have given over their powers, so to speak, to these organizations of the European Union, man, you know. And on top of that, they're talking about billions of cicadas, 2 different types of broods of cicadas that's supposed to be erupting this spring, okay? So we may see them later this month, sometime next month, but it's supposed to be beyond unbearable, okay? So it's getting real out here, part of the plagues. But it says, for Yahweh should not deliver you because ye have sinned against them. But behold, a horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east. And where these nations are going to fight. The fight is going to take place in the east, man, okay? And it's going to make it to this side of the world because of the weapons, the missiles. And on top of that, you're going to have civil war over here. And it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, which is Ishmael, should come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them should be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear may fear and tremble, right? So now what he was talking about, full spectrum of Bible, he's basically going into it, like these proxies between Iran and Israel, you know, and the Hamas, Hezbollah, okay, and the different Shia and Sunni communities. And then you got NATO, the EU, okay, you got Russia, China up in there, okay, and this is basically going into that vision. And it reads here, that says, and the Carmenians, which is the Iranians, in raging wrath should go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power should they come and join battle with them. So basically Ishmael and Elam are going to hook up, okay, because it says here that dragons of Arabia and the Carmenians raging in wrath should go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, okay? And the Assyrians is you modern day Edomites, okay, modern day Americans, okay, and you Amalekites as well, because that land is going to be totally wiped out. But it reads, it says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, and remember in their nature, and if they should turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these should be troubled, and keep the silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and their host shall fear and dread and strife among the kings. Okay, because you got to understand, America, there, even though, you know, the military has been weakened, you know, you got a lot of boy toys up in there, but regardless of it, America's still pretty much a powerful nation, man. I mean, it ain't really, honestly speaking, like they say, if they was to have a ground war with Russia, America would win hands down. Okay, but when it comes to like a nuclear war, then they will get America because they have advanced nuclear technology. Ground war or as far as the air war, they will definitely win because it ain't really no countries on the planet Earth fucking with America's Air Force, okay? I mean, they put trillions of dollars into their defense. I mean, not their defense, but their offensive strategies. But they lack in defense, man. Like they say, defense wins fights. You can be an offensive fighter, but if you don't know how to duck or dodge or you know, what I'm saying, sidestep a jab or a hook or whatever, man, you know, cross right, uppercut, jab, then you're gonna get your ass knocked out if you don't take them out first. So it's gonna be a tough battle for them. But regardless, you know, America, they're gonna get busy in this world war, but they're gonna get literally decimated because all the nations are gonna come against it, you know. But anyway, with that, brothers, man, this is just a quick lesson giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you were edified into the next lesson. Shalom.